30 days ago, I had a huge empty fishbowl. Now I have a living ecosystem with 15 different inhabitants. But before I spoil too much, let's start from the beginning. I was shopping and came across this massive fishbowl and decided it would be perfect for an ecosystem. My plan is to make this as cost efficient as possible, so I'm going to use this old record for the bowl to sit on top of. Next, we're going to lay out all the materials for the build. I gotta admit, my stomach is growling, so I'm gonna eat some sour cream. I'm just kidding, it's time to add in our sand. This is sand from an established aquarium of mine, so it should be full of beneficial bacteria. I won't be using any plants that take nutrients from the soil, so I don't need a nutrient layer for this build. After smoothing out the sand, it's time to add in our first piece of driftwood. This is gonna be what I glue most of the plants to. Right now the background looks like a prison cell, so I'm gonna spruce it up with some plants. Now that that's all taken care of, it's time to add in some gravel to give the sand some gradient. Next, one quick layer of pebbles to add a little more depth. Now it's time to add in our plants. Both of the plants I'm using for this build are super hardy and pull nutrients from the water column to survive, so they can be glued to the driftwood just fine. To start, I'm going to take half of the El Nino fern and anchor it down to the driftwood with some glue. After a few seconds, it's locked in place and shouldn't be going anywhere. The other half of the fern is super tall, so I'm going to glue it to a rock in order to get it deeper in the tank so that it doesn't stick out too far. After adding it in, I think this idea worked pretty well because you can't tell how much taller it is than the other fern. After that, I'm going to add in our other 3 plants by gluing them to the driftwood as well. The cool part about these plants is that over time, their roots will spread out and stick to the driftwood, holding it in place even stronger and looking way better and more natural. I recently learned that these plants can grow flowers underwater, which I've never seen, but would be pretty cool if it happened. After our 3rd plant is glued in place, I think our aquascape is fully complete and it's time to fill the tank with water. After the tank is full of water, I'm going to add in a little bit of plant fertilizer to feed all our new plants. Then I'm going to give it a quick stir to mix it around. To introduce a little more beneficial bacteria, I'm going to add in a piece of driftwood from another established tank of mine, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of ammonium chloride to feed the bacteria and let the tank cycle. Now all that's left to do is let the tank sit for a few days. On day 5, I'm going to add in this bubbler to help oxygenate the water. If you look closely, you can see that the tank water is getting pretty hazy, and that usually means that the beneficial bacteria is blooming and the tank is cycling very quickly. But we're still missing one key ingredient, our lights. These lights will go behind the tank and not only illuminate it, but also help our plants grow healthy and strong. I chose these because they have a couple different options, like a warm, a medium, and a colder setting. After installing them, I think they look great and help the tank build look more complete. I really like how they can be adjusted to fit any angle and stick to the wall, and it's not too bad that they were only $16. I decided that I like the warmest setting the best, so that's what I'll leave it on while we continue to let the tank cycle. On day 12, the tank is very close to fully cycled and is getting pretty dirty, with the leaves being covered in biofilm and the glass is covered in algae. I don't think I can tackle this mess by myself, so I decided to call for some backup, grabbing 2 pest snails from one of my other tanks. These things reproduce without a partner, so there's going to be tons of them pretty soon, so I'll have to make sure to keep them in check when they're in this bowl so that they don't take over. Real quick, about 98% of you watching aren't subscribed. Hitting that button and interacting really helps the channel grow. I appreciate it a ton. I'm going to add the first one in right here and just drop him to the bottom of the bowl so he can start to explore. As for the second, I'm going to drop him on these leaves so we can watch him take off. He quickly flips himself over and heads towards the bottom of the bowl. You can see here that they quickly get to work eating algae off the glass. After a long day of cleaning, it's time to let these guys settle in for a few days. On day 19, the tank is fully cycled and looks much cleaner, so it's time to add in 12 new inhabitants. Here we've got some blue, orange, and yellow shrimp, 4 of each to be exact. After about 30 minutes of drip acclimation, it's time to add these guys into the bowl. All at once they file in, nervous but ready to explore their new home. Right away I noticed that the colors don't like to mingle, each like a little clique fighting for prime real estate. The yellow seem to be the most friendly, going over and introducing themselves to the snails. The blue shrimp all hang out, establishing their territory in the bottom left section of the tank. If you look closely, you can see this guy's little pincher-like hands grabbing biofilm and putting it into his mouth. The blue shrimp seem to be fighting for airtime because whenever I press record, they try to get in the shot. It seems like they're natural-born entertainers. I think they're about to lose some of that airtime because on day 27, it's time to add in the star of the show, our betta fish. I decided to ask my sister for some help naming him, and here's what she came up with, so drop your votes down in the comments on what you think it should be. After acclimation, it's time to introduce him into his new home. He seems to like the comfort of the net and takes a while before finally swimming out into the open. I think he's pretty shy because whenever I put the camera on him, he darts off into an area of the bowl that's pretty hard for me to film. Eventually he comes to the front of the bowl and shows off his beauty, stretching out his fins. But this too is short-lived when he darts to the back of the tank into safety, so I'm going to let him sit for a few days and get used to his home. On day 30 he's starting to come around to the idea of being filmed, and even shows a little bit of interest in some food. This has to be one of the most polite betta fish I've ever seen, because he takes the smallest nibbles of food rather than devouring it in one bite like all my other betta fish. After letting him snack for a few minutes, I take out the excess shrimp so the tank stays nice and clean. I was a little bit worried that the betta fish would attack the shrimp, but that seems to be the least of our problems, and I can tell the shrimp feel super comfortable with their friendly betta fish protector. Thanks for watching this little world come to life and everything find their place. If you enjoyed the build, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what this tank becomes in the coming months. Drop a comment and let me know what you'd add or remove from this build, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and have a great day.